Number 6. Mob football. Some claim this to be one of the earliest forms of football recorded in history, but this version of the beautiful game is a far cry from today's association football. It was played by whole villages in medieval England, whereby all the men would face a rival village mob, or one village would split into two, and attempt to move a ball from one side to the other. They would be kicking, punching and trampling as the mob, measuring in the hundreds, scrambled to gain and keep control of the ball. But most of the time, the game became a violent, uncontrollable riot, with players being accidentally stabbed or worse, killed. Some parts of the UK still recreate mob football to this day, notably the Royal Shrovetide football match on Shrove Tuesday in Ashbourne, Derbyshire. Without the stabbings, of course. Number 5. Pankration. This Greek game truly was a brutal blood sport. The basic premise was to beat your opponent to within an inch of death without actually killing him. Players would use a combination of kicking, wrestling, hand-to-hand combat and elbows. And of course, because it was Greek, the two dudes were butt naked. How did this game end? Well, whilst the objective was to clearly maim the opposition beyond belief, if you actually killed him, you lost. This is because any fighter killed in the course of Pankration was seen to be the ultimate fighter and would therefore win. Every cloud has a silver lining. Number 4. Naumachia. Most people know the Colosseum for Rome's savage gladiatorial games. Not in this case. One day Rome sat up and thought, wait a second, why not fill the Colosseum with water and pit a few warships against each other? Yeah, great idea. Well, the bloodthirsty mob loved it. Naumachia roughly translates as naval warfare, and in this ruthless Roman spectacle, warboats sought to wreck and destroy the other crews. So bloody was the sport that often the last boat standing would be covered in a crimson red. Number 3. Viking skin pulling. Basically, an extreme game of tug of war done the Viking way, and that's the sort of way that never really ends well for the losing team. Given the Vikings' unhealthy obsession with rape, murder and fire, it was only a matter of time before someone combined all three into a game, as if in an effort to make it somehow okay. The result, tug of war played over a fiery pit with all spoils and women from the town they had just ransacked going to the winners. The losers got a closer look at the fire pit from the bottom. Number 2. Fisherman's Joust. Here's an ancient sport still played to this day, albeit not as dangerously. Fisherman's jousting originated in Egypt and was traditionally played in front of a pharaoh. Two fishermen would climb aboard small boats and row out to the middle of the Nile. They would then proceed to try and knock each other off the boat and into water with their oars. The only problem was most Egyptians didn't know how to swim, and there were crocs in the water. So, in classic ancient game tradition, you lost, you died. Number 1. The Mesoamerican ball game. Now this one's a beaut. This game would be all well and good if it wasn't so hard to score and so easy to die. It's as if Mayans sat down one day and tasked themselves with creating a game completely devoid of fun. The aim of the game was to get the ball, heavy and made of solid rubber, through a hoop on the side of a wall. Long, narrow stone arenas staged two teams, each trying to accumulate the most amount of points by getting the ball to hit the opposite end wall. If the ball went through the stone ring, mounted 6 meters off the ground, it was an automatic win. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. The final rule of the game was that you could only use your hips to hit the ball. Now it sounds pretty much impossible. And the ball was so heavy that players were often killed when it hit them in the mouth, stomach or intestines. The game would also sometimes lead to human sacrifice, with the captain of the losing team, possibly even the whole team, being decapitated and killed. What a bundle of fun.